If you're planning to upgrade your smartphones or buy a new gadget in 2026, I have some very bad news for you. These devices will get more expensive in the months to come, and most of the culprits for this are big tech AI companies. But how does that dynamic really work is what we will talk about on the show this week. And while prices are about to rise, I have some very budget-friendly goodies from Redmi shelf, which you will know more about on the show this week. I'm Cyrus, and you are watching the Tech Today show. Let's kick things off with the top tech headlines of the week.
YouTube is handing more power to parents to curb teen doom scrolling. A new update allows guardians to set a short feed limit, which can restrict scrolling to a specific time or even block it entirely during study hours. The feature, launching this week, aims to tackle mindless swiping and promote mindful viewing among young Indian users. Elon Musk's X has restricted its AI Grok from creating bikini edits of real people following global backlash over non-consensual deepfakes. While real-world images are now geo-blocked for such edits, Musk clarified that NSFW content involving imaginary AI characters is still permitted. The move comes as several countries, including Indonesia and Malaysia, suspended the tool. Space travel is getting a luxurious upgrade. California-based startup GRU Space, backed by Nvidia and SpaceX, plans to open the first hotel on the moon by 2032. If you have $1 crore to spare, you can secure a spot with $1 million deposit, though the final room price is expected to exceed 80 crores per night. Google is supercharging Gemini with a new personal intelligence feature. This opt-in beta allows the AI to scan your Gmail, photos, and YouTube history to offer proactive advice, like reminding you of a car's tire size from an old email or suggesting a travel itinerary based on your past vacation photos. It's a major step towards making AI a truly personal digital partner. And finally, it's the end of the road for ChatGPT on WhatsApp. As of January 15th, OpenAI has officially deactivated the service following Meta's new policy banning general-purpose AI bots. Users in India are being urged to link their accounts to the official ChatGPT app to save their chat history before it's permanently deleted from the messaging platform.
Now imagine, a few years ago, buying a smartphone felt like a routine. You went online, went to a store, checked out the offers, maybe stretched your budget a little bit, and then walked out a satisfied customer. But in 2026, the same becomes heavier on the wallet. The 10,000 rupee phone, that range kind of creeps into the 15,000 category. Then the 18,000 ones become more around 20,000 rupees. So the bottom line is your phones are going to get more expensive in 2026. Now, I know you're asking whether this is inflation, whether the global tariff market is just inflating, and whether the smartphone makers are getting too greedy over here. The thing is, the answer to this is more hardware related, and I'll explain how this is affecting the smartphone prices.
Industry research shows that smartphone prices are expected to rise by about 7% in 2026 compared to 2025. More than flashy features, this shift is being driven by something far more basic and far more invisible. A global shortage of memory chips is pushing up component costs across the industry. According to Counterpoint Research, this shortage is being fueled by rising demand by AI companies to run their massive servers and data centers, where high-performance DRAM is being prioritized over consumer devices. In simple terms, the same chips that make your phone fast are now far more valuable somewhere else. The graph clearly shows that memory prices have already surged. DRAM and NAND flash climbed 40% or more in late 2025, with analysts expecting further increases into early 2026. For context, these are chips that decide how smoothly apps run, how quickly AI features respond, and how long a phone feels new. So when memory becomes scarce, the impact comes out of the factories and shows up directly in the price you pay.
We are not seeing any signs of abating of memory prices in 2026, and that might go into 2027 as well. So one that is leading is most of your flagships are getting expensive. So there is a gap between the mid-tier, entry mid-tier, and the flagship that is happening right now. In fact, all the new launches have been on an average were expensive by almost like 10 to 15,000, 200, 150 to $200 as compared to the previous generation, and most of it is due to the memory price hike.
Smartphones today are packed with advanced camera systems, custom processors, complex cooling structures, premium materials, and displays that rival standalone monitors. Each of these upgrades adds cost. And it's a technical fact. Memory chips often account for around 12 to 16% of a smartphone's total bill of materials. When memory costs spike, the total expense rises and manufacturers face a choice: absorb the cost or pass it on to consumers. Industry leaders are calling it out. In a recent article on X, Carl Pei, CEO of Nothing, explained why 2026 will be an unprecedented year for consumer electronics and the smartphone industry in particular. In India, analysts estimate that rising memory prices could push up manufacturing costs by 8 to 15% per device in 2026, especially affecting entry in mid-range models.
But to find the real culprit, you have to look past the smartphone in your hand and towards these massive buildings, these servers that are powering the internet. Now in 2026, the biggest threat to your wallet is the global silicon tax you did not even know that you were paying.
AI systems built by companies like Google, Microsoft, and Nvidia rely on high-performance DRAM and high-bandwidth memory to run massive trading and inference workload efficiently. AI data centers operate large clusters of GPUs and specialized AI accelerators, each with hundreds of gigabytes of memory per server. These systems are designed to process billions of parameters in real time, running models like Gemini, ChatGPT derivatives, and advanced vision transformers. And here's the quiet shift. These data centers are buying from the same memory supply as smartphone manufacturers. These companies now compete directly with smartphone makers for the same chips. Modern phones, especially AI-enabled devices, also need fast memory to handle real-time image processing, voice recognition, and on-device generative features. And when a single server rack consumes more memory than thousands of phones combined, the economics change. AI infrastructure has become a priority. Every expansion of AI quietly pulls memory away from the consumer electronics industry. So lesser supply of memory means the cost shifts quietly into your pockets. This is the moment smartphones stopped being the priority customer. But don't think for a second that this ends with the phones in your pocket. The memory vacuum is creating a ripple effect that is hitting every floor of the electronics store. From the high-end OLED TVs in your living room to the smart refrigerator in your kitchen, and even your washing machine or air conditioner, they all rely on the same DRAM and memory chips that AI companies are aggressively outbidding everyone for. Industry leaders like Samsung are already warning that as they prioritize high-performance chips for AI data centers, the supply for everyday appliances is being choked. What does that mean for you? It means that AI-driven inflation is coming for your household budget. Analysts are projecting price hikes of up to 10% on televisions and 5 to 20% across broader home appliances this year. In the new economy, the same AI that's supposed to make our lives easier is making the hardware we rely on significantly more expensive to own.
Now, there are market reports that suggest Samsung is considering price increases of $30 to $50 for its upcoming Galaxy S26 series, reflecting sustained pressure from component costs. Now, across the Android ecosystem, price adjustments are already visible, with several models in India becoming around 1 to 2,000 rupees more expensive in early 2026, often without obvious changes on the spec sheet. Now, check out all of these headlines that indicate that manufacturers are gearing up to increase prices for their upcoming models. And this is concerning for many people who are looking to either upgrade or make a new purchase in the new year.
The impact is also going beyond pricing. Memory shortages are now shaping how smartphones are built. Some manufacturers may limit RAM or reduce storage or compromise in build quality while keeping headline prices competitive. Those compromises don't always show up on day one, but they surface over time: slower multitasking, constrained AI features, and shorter software relevance.
You'll be like trading off on some of other components like SoC or even display or a battery or camera module to make it up for the memory price, which means consumers will not get that aggressive specifications on paper that they used to get in 2025 or so.
In practical terms, Indian consumers in 2026 could face a choice: pay more for full-featured phones or get devices with slightly lower memory or storage. This shows how technical limitations in global AI-driven supply chains are directly influencing the phones in our hands.
To sum it up, the smartphone price rise in 2026 is all about global memory shortages, competing AI demand, rising material costs, and strategic tech shifts inside the devices themselves. And those forces are likely to shape not just how expensive a phone costs, but also what it delivers to you in performance, memory, and AI readiness. We will continue tracking all of these trends as we move deeper into 2026. Now, let's shift focus to two devices that are budget-friendly, have enough RAM for all of your multitasking needs. Check out these new Redmi devices. Think about your daily digital life. You wake up with your smartphone screen and then you look at your smartphone more than you look at your partner. No love lost over there. And when you're about to end your day, the last thing that you see is your smartphone screen. While I never recommend people watching their screens for such a long time because it's bad for the eyes, I know I sound a little hypocritical because you're watching this video on a screen, but even if you have to look at a display, at least get a good one. But what really qualifies as good, especially if you are in a budget, even if it's something as small as this or something bigger? And that's exactly we are reviewing two devices today. This one is the Redmi Note 15, making a comeback in the Note series, and the other one is the Redmi Pad 2 Pro. Now, if you're looking for budget-friendly options, one that offers a decent design and a good display, and the other one gives you almost a mini theater experience, then this one you should definitely watch. First up, let's talk about this one, the Redmi Note 15. The moment you pick up the Redmi Note 15, you realize Xiaomi is clearly trying to flirt with the flagship category. I mean, the curved AMOLED display instantly makes the phone look more expensive than it actually is. I mean, it's like the kind of phone you casually place on the table and people just look at it and get curious. How much is this phone? The screen is smooth thanks to the 120Hz refresh rate, colors look rich, and the brightness is strong enough to survive the Indian sunlight, and it also works fine even if you are using the phone in the smog. This joke is especially for the people who live in Delhi.
It's also surprisingly light and slim and comfortable to hold. You even get an IP66 rating, which means a little rain won't send you running towards the rice bowl, because that's exactly what you do when your phone falls into the water, right? Now, the only small drama here is the curved screen itself. I mean, it looks great, but isn't it time already that curved screen designs ended? And finding a screen protector for curved screen is a pain. Otherwise, it is a great display. It has HDR10 plus, it has PWM dimming, and also it's pleasant to look at. Inside, the Redmi Note 15 runs on the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 processor, which essentially is the kind of processor that minds its own business, gets the job done quietly, but is almost 3 years old, and that could be a problem when you are putting in money to buy a phone in 2026. However, day-to-day tasks, social media, YouTube, switching between apps, everything runs smoothly, so no complaints in that department. And you will also be able to play some graphic-intensive games, maybe PUBG or even Call of Duty Mobile. However, the moment you push the graphics, that's when the phone will start to struggle, so it's not meant for that. The good thing is Xiaomi is promising long-term updates, so this phone won't start feeling old emotionally or technically anytime soon. HyperOS also deserves some credit. It's fast, it's colorful, and does not make the smartphone look overwhelming or heavy with bloat in any way. However, let's be honest, this is not a phone that people would want to play graphic intensive games set on ultra extreme mega max settings and expect magic. I mean, yes, it can game, but absolutely doesn't flex in terms of being a gaming smartphone. And even if you look at the benchmark numbers, they are not as impressive. So clearly, Xiaomi is not looking to impress you with all of the specifications. Rather, it's offering you practicality, which in 2026 for a budget phone is something that you should look forward to. Also, you do get a few pre-installed apps, which you will probably spend the couple of first 15-20 minutes uninstalling, which you mostly do. I mean, why would you want bloat on your phone, right? The big talking point here is the rear 108 megapixel camera that Xiaomi has added on this one, which could clearly be a game changer if you're looking to buy a phone like this. In good lighting, the photos come out sharp, detailed, and very Instagram friendly. Yes, there is optical stabilization, which helps you at night and also while you are shooting. Selfies are clean and natural, good enough for video calls, and even the portrait mode is impressive. Where things become a little average, I feel, is the ultra wide angle lens. You get an 8 megapixel lens in this one, and the results might not be as impressive what you get in the competition in this category, and that's where I feel the camera system kind of gets left behind. Plus, there is no telephoto lens either, so zooming in is mostly software doing all of the hard work. But on a budget phone, I feel it's still good enough. This smartphone comes with a massive 5520 mAh battery, which is easily one of the best batteries that you can get in this price segment. The good thing is that you are getting an all-day battery, and it's one of those phones that you don't have to worry about by the evening hits. You can still do a lot and not panic, and by the end of the day, when I was using this, I was left with around 25% charge, which isn't really bad. You also get 45 watt fast charging, which is quick enough and gets your phone from 0 to full charge in around an hour, which is good. But is it the fastest charging tech in the market? Absolutely not. I mean, there are smartphones in the market that give you 120 watt fast charging, which are relatively more expensive, but they can charge your phone faster than you can change tires on F1 cars. So that tech is impressive. This one is decent. So if I have to give a verdict, I will say the Redmi Note 15 is like that well-dressed, ideal friend and companion that really doesn't outshine every other person in the room, rather just sits subtly and, impresses regardless. I mean, it is reliable, it is stylish, and always shows up on time, and you are getting a gorgeous display with this one. The battery life is good, the camera is decent, and overall, if you're looking for a phone in the 25 to 30k category, this is a good option to have. And I'm not saying that the competition is not available. You have the OnePluses, you have the Note series as well. There are a lot of phones in the Realme categories. But when Xiaomi is giving you a smartphone, it is loading it with good specifications, and the Redmi Note series is known to be a good series for Xiaomi, which is why it's one of the top selling phones in the Indian market. So I would clearly say it's not built to dominate the budget and the mid-range sector. However, if you're looking for a comprehensive option which not only gives you a good display but also gives you good battery life, then the Redmi Note 15 is a decent option to consider. Now let's talk about the bigger brother of this one. No, not this big brother, the tablet. The Redmi Pad 2 Pro is an ideal companion for binge watchers. I mean, just look at that 12.1-inch display. I mean, this is the reason why companies like Netflix, Amazon, and even Prime Video developed tablet-specific applications so that you can sit and binge watch on screens like these. The sharp 120Hz refresh rate keeps everything silky smooth, and the size makes it feel almost like a portable TV rather than a tablet. The metal body feels premium and sturdy, and then add quad speakers on this one which support Dolby Atmos, and your experience just is mind-blowing. However, I would recommend that you do not turn the volume all the way up because that just blasts the video and just kills the experience. The one thing that you need to be prepared for is the size and the weight, because this one is not light in the hands. Yes, it is 12 inches, but you need to understand that this is a tablet, so it will take a toll on your hands if you are not, working out. So you need strong hands for this one. Powering the Pad 2 Pro is the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4, which is an upgraded version of the previous 7S. It's smooth for everyday tasks, handles multitasking well, and casual games run without complaints. You can also use the split screen view and run multiple applications, and also attend video calls, and all of the work documents, everything, practicality has been bundled into this tablet. So for basic daily work, this is ideal. HyperOS on a larger screen feels clean and easy to navigate, and that's something a lot of people will appreciate, that they haven't added a lot of clutter on this one. However, when you're using this tablet, keep expectations real. This is not a gaming tablet. It's not trying to replace your laptop, and you will not be editing 4K videos or playing the heaviest games at max setting. Yes, all of the Android apps are compatible and you are getting the basics over here, but be a bit realistic with your expectations and don't consider this one to be a powerhouse. Rather, use it like a practical solution. The good thing is, to enhance the utility, you also get this keyboard which is connecting via Bluetooth, and also get a stylus. However, both of them charge separately via USB-C. In terms of functionality, I was using this keyboard. Typing is good, tactile feedback, and all of the keys are decent enough. Yes, it does not have a trackpad, which could be a deal breaker, but then you can always attach a mouse and use it. The stylus isn't as impressive as I expected, because yes, it does come with functionality buttons, but in terms of latency, when I was drawing, there was lag, and that's something that I at least faced. Maybe you have a different experience. Now, tablets and cameras have a very unconventional relationships, and I feel that they are there just to exist. That's about it. The Redmi Pad 2 Pro follows the same philosophy, because this one has an 8-megapixel front camera, which is fine for video calls, office meetings, etc. Where the rear camera is also of the same resolution, but it doesn't really serve any purpose. I mean, you would use it to click your Instagram photos or make videos. So it doesn't really make sense of having a camera at the back. Which is why I say you won't buy a tablet to shoot cinematic reels or vacation photos. So the camera which is on the front is mostly the most functional one, and it's a decent one as well. Talking about the battery, you are seeing one of the biggest batteries that you can have on a tablet, because the Redmi Pad 2 has a massive 12,000 mAh battery, and with regular use I got about 4 to 5 days easily, and that is impressive to have on a canvas like this. You can even charge your phones thanks to the reverse charging technology, which is mostly used in emergencies. Don't be lugging your phone and the cord every single time, because yeah, you have a power bank for that. While this can double as a power bank, don't use it for that. The only downside which I feel here is that the battery, while being naturally big, charges very slowly, because this supports 33-watt charging, and in 2026, if you have a tablet, 33 watts is just too slow. So yes, patience is required when you're charging this device, but again, if you look at it practically, think about it. You'll be charging this device maybe once every 4 to 5 days. So even if it's 33 watts, it's not really a deal breaker. So the Redmi Pad 2 Pro is available in India in the 5G version as well, and priced between 25 to 30,000 rupees, which is decent pricing for a tablet like this. However, it is dangerously close to the OnePlus Pad Go 2 and also the Samsung Tab series, and that makes it a little difficult for Xiaomi to convince people to go for this one. Yes, it does offer the big battery, the smooth display, the speakers are good, and also the performance is dependable. Everything wrapped into a premium looking body like this. However, you should look at the Xiaomi tablet purely as an entertainment solution because it is not, I would say, a powerhouse. If you're looking for more functionalities, more premiumness, you're better off going for tablets in the 40K plus segment. However, in the more affordable segment, this is a practical solution and something that offers you all of the good things: a good battery, a premium display, good sound quality, and a very sturdy looking design. So this was a comprehensive review of the new Redmi Note 15 and also the Pad. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these devices.
2025 was a brilliant year for smartphone sales. I mean, imagine Apple has record sales, the mid-range market was booming, but I doubt it will be the same in 2026. So, well, that's where the no-cost EMIs and the discounts will always come to your rescue. But do realize the market is slowly shifting to a more AI-dominated ecosystem that is going to affect our lives. Tell us, are you willing to pay more for AI features, or would you rather settle for lower spec smartphones to save money? I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about that. Rest assured, we will be tracking all of this on the Tech Today show, so stay tuned. This is Cyrus signing off. I'll see you next week. Stay curious.